Yes, the car's already heading out onto the grid, Josh, for the MR2s. And it's another very big grid, and the result for this race is determined by the fastest lap times from the earlier race. So let's talk you through that grid now. Front row then, Aaron Cook and Sean Traynor, Alistair Topley and Nick Williamson on row 2, Ben Rowe and Chris Thomas row 3, Matthew Allen and Mick Nichols, the first of the roadsters, on the 4th row of the grid. Row 5, it's Wayne Lewis and Sam Harper, Tim Heron and Andrew Ruthven together on row 6 of the grid. Graham Mailings, although I don't think he's going to be out there after those engine problems in race 1, and Gavin Aldworth, row 7. Matthew Welford, the local man, and Pete Higton in his roadster, row 8. Row 9, it's Dave Hemingway and Jonathan Grimes. So a Mark 1 and a Mark 3 together there. Neil Stratton and Simon Quinn on row 10. Lee Brown and Ashley Parsons, row 11. Maxine Nichols and Oliver Aldworth on row 12 of the grid. A bit further back, Stuart Briley and Michael Japp, Marcus Watson, Gareth Baxter, Scott Hughes and Dominic Early, Phil Collins and Wags Furman round out the top 16 rows of the grid, as we have the 30-second board going up, all set for the off then for the second Gala Performance MR2 Championship race of the day. Red lights go on. They go out now, away they go, and it's a pretty good start from Sean Traynor from the outside of the front row of the grid, and he's got the lead already away from Aaron Cook, the racer with an oval background, and then it looks like it's Alistair Topley level pegging for third with Nick Williamson. We've got cars off through the gravel and just about into the barriers as well. That was number 15, Gavin Aldworth, that's made contact with the tyres, and heavier contact there with another car for number 70. And that is Stuart Briley, and also involved is number 7, Wayne Lewis, I think.
And 21 was involved as well, Wags Furman, somehow. Now, they started nowhere near each other on the grid, so perhaps one incident triggering another one there further back. We'll see if we can piece that together. That may require a safety car, because there are at least 2 cars that are in awkward positions at the end of the pit straight and through Clairvaux. Hopefully not, though, because the race is raging on, as it always does in the Gala Performance Toyota MR2 Championship. Out at the far end of the circuit, Sean Traynor pulling away, Aaron Cook defending from everybody else there to try and hold on to second place. There is number 33, Mick Nichols, who I think is still the lead roadster, but not by a huge margin at the moment. Only a couple of places ahead of the number 79 of Jonathan Grimes, that will be. The leaders come through the complex then with Sean Traynor out in front, Cook in second place, third place Nick Williamson, fourth place is Chris Thomas, who's had a good start this time, having got shuffled back in the early stages last time, and Ben Rowe, perhaps the one that's lost a bit of ground, started fifth. I think he's down in about 7th position as they come through to the completion of lap number 1.
So Sean Traynor, who won race 1 and with it took the lead of the championship, coming into this 6th round of the season. He's got quite a convincing lead at the end of the first lap. Just waiting for our timing screen to sort itself out. Over Aaron Cook in second place, Nick Williamson third, Chris Thomas fourth, Alistair Topley, the man that was second in the championship coming into this weekend behind the absent Paul Cook. He is running in 5th place at the moment. Just saw him there. Nick Williamson and Chris Thomas in the number 3 car doing battle as they head through the chicane. There's one car, I think that might be the 7 car, mightn't it, of Wayne Lewis, that stopped just behind the marshal's post at the chicane that you can just see in the back of shot there, down to Tower Corner. 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th together. So Ben Rowe, it is in 6th place. He started 5th, so he's lost 1 place. There's Sean Traynor. Aaron Cook trying to go after Traynor. 3rd and 4th quite close together as well as they head through the Jim Clark S's up towards Barcroft and then Sunny. There is a bit of a gap, isn't there, from Ben Rowe in 6th position to Matthew Allen, I think it is, the number 65 car that's running in 7th place at the moment. There's Cook. Aaron Cook. Heading down the straight towards the complex goes Sean Traynor, and at the moment he's looking in a reasonably good position, Andy.
We sort of thought this might be the case. Once he got in front in race 1, he pulled away, didn't he? And certainly seems to be a similar story in this one, except he got in front into the first corner rather than having to work his way up the pack a little bit. Out of the hairpin he comes then. Yellow flags out. Does that mean we're about to go to safety car? No, it's because there's a live snatch in progress down at Clervaux Corner. So the race can continue, but no overtaking allowed into the first corner. Aaron Cook second. This the fight for third then. Nick Williamson from Chris Thomas, from Alistair Topley and Ben Rowe. 4 cars debating the bottom step of the podium at the moment. And then, yeah, the gap back to Matthew Allen, who's been caught by Sam Harper. And there, Mick Nichols, the Class C leader. In Class A, Dave Hemingway is still in the lead, but has Neil Stratton for close company as Chris Thomas goes straight on at the chicane and loses, surely, 4th position here, I think. Yeah, because Alistair Topley gets alongside him. He's got the inside line in the Rogue Motorsport car towards Tower Corner. And Alistair Topley, the black and sort of bronze-coloured car on the inside. Well, will he make it stick? Chris Thomas is going to try and fight back around the outside, but no, the inside is always the way to go, in dry conditions at least, down at Tower. And so Topley does go through after a moment there. And speaking of moments, off in the background, I think that was Matthew Allen, was it, that's gone on at the Tower Corner? I think it is. Yeah. He's rejoined, but lost several positions.
He has, and he's not up to speed. Yes, he's going to lose a position as well to some of the leading Mark 1s as well. Dave Hemingway, number 55, and Neil Stratton, number 84, up in 14th and 15th positions overall. So that's how far back he's fallen as a result of that. Leaders, meanwhile, heading down towards the complex once again for the 3rd time, and it's Sean Traynor from Aaron Cook, and then the rest. Ben Rowe trying to make up a position there on Chris Thomas into the complex, half overlapping as they come into the second element of it, but can he do anything about him on the way down towards the hairpin? Answer looks to be no, unless he can get the switch back on the exit of the corner, which he can't. So no change in the order there. So Traynor, Cook, Williamson, Thomas, Topley, Rowe it is. Sam Harper, though, should have gone up to 18th position. Yeah, Topley ahead of Thomas, I should say. Then Rowe, and Harper, yeah, up to 7th. Mick Nichols leading the Roadsters class up to 8th. Tim Heron up to 9th. Jonathan Grimes up to 10th as Matthew Allen tumbles down the timing screens.
Yeah, he's down to, I reckon, 14th place between Dave Hemingway and Neil Stratton, which is indeed where he settles in on the timing column down the left-hand side of your screen. So Neil Stratton now, once again, frustratingly, has a car between himself and his Class A sparring partner, Dave Hemingway, the class leader. Down towards Tower Corner there. Chris Thomas defending the inside line from Ben Rowe this time for 5th position. Thomas, having had a better start on this occasion, unfortunately has seen his race start to fade already over the early laps and is now really having to get his elbows out, whilst Alistair Topley, having cleared those two, is now right on the coattails of Nick Williamson, and the pair of them not really falling away much from Aaron Cook either.
No, they're not. We've still got more than half of this race left to go, just under 7 minutes now, plus 1 lap in this, the 6th round of the 2019 Gala Performance Toyota MR2 Championship. There is Thomas, there is Rowe, making their way through Sunny Out. Those are the 2 cars battling over 5th and 6th positions. They've got quite a big advantage now over Mick Nichols, who looked in the background there to be ahead of Sam Harper for 7th place now, so that might have changed. We'll have a proper look at that in a minute. In fact, those two side by side as they head into our view out of the commentary box window, and it's Harper that's just about held on, but it's a right old gaggle of cars there for 7th back to about 12th place, isn't it?
Yeah, which includes the 2nd place Class C car, Jonathan Grimes, who is only a couple of positions still behind Mick Nichols. Mick doesn't really need to be getting too stuck in here with the Class B cars, but he feels that he's quicker. He said earlier on, that, or no, Graham Mailings it was, told me earlier on that he felt the wet conditions were suiting the Roadsters. Well, they're going well in the dry as well, because Mick Nichols goes to the outside of Sam Harper. These two in different classes, but he's got to be careful, because if he loses a place to Tim Heron, then Jonathan Grimes, his Class C rival, will be right with him. There is the silver, blue and green car at the back of this quartet that is 2nd in class, and this is a really, really tight battle. Out of the chicane they go. The Roadsters, maybe not quite as quick in a straight line, but they tend to handle better through the tight corners. And as we've seen several times today here at Croft, there are parts of this circuit that suit both classes of car. And over a lap, there's very little to choose between them sometimes. There is Grimes turning through Tower. Andrew Ruthven and Matthew Welford are side by side just behind them as well. Wherever you look in, there are battles.
Exactly, and it's so often the case in the Gala Performance Toyota MR2 Championship, and it's interesting, isn't it, that you do have the Mark III Roadsters, which are lighter but less powerful than the heavier Mark II cars from the 1990s. Sean Traynor, race leader, into the complex again. The gap was just under 3 seconds at the end of lap 4. We'll see if Aaron Cook's been able to do anything about it at all. 1:38.24 from Sean Traynor is the best lap of the race, and that is well underneath now Jim Davis's lap record of 1:41.04. So now we've got the dry conditions. It was a bit damp for race 1. That lap record has been absolutely smashed by Sean Traynor by almost 3 seconds, so that's quite remarkable. On that lap, Cook was about 0.3 slower, so the gap has gone out now to 3.3 seconds, another 1.7 seconds back to Nick Williamson in third. Williamson and Topley separated by 0.4, so that's a reasonably close battle, but still one of the best battles is this one on screen, as off has gone Ben Rowe. Well, Ben, 11-hour drive from Devon the other day, and that's not necessarily what you want to do before you head home, is it? He's gone very wide there, and he has lost places as well. Just the one place, though, to Chris Thomas, and it was lucky, really, that he got such a big gap, and I think he should be back up to speed and have his momentum before the number 18 car of Sam Harper can get him.
Hand out to the cockpit, though, so he's got a problem. Whether that was cause or effect of that off, we don't know. But Ben Rowe looks like this might become a non-finish then, his first of the year. And that will be bad news indeed, because it will drop him out of the very top of the championship table at least. He'll count this as one of his drop scores, no doubt, but that's a real shame. And yeah, he's taking the shortcut from the exit of Tower back onto the pit straight. He is pit lane bound, I think. Yeah,
or possibly we'll just stop up there behind the barriers at the hairpin to watch the rest of the race. So Ben Rowe out of it, as you say, that can be used as one of his drop scores at the end of the season. Drivers count the best 14 scores out of the 16 rounds that we have in the Gala Performance Close MR2 Championship. So leaders coming through to complete another lap. We're watching Sam Harper, though. We've now got Tim Heron ahead of Mick Nichols, so the Mark II has gone ahead of the Mark III, and that puts Mick Nichols a bit vulnerable as far as the Class C lead is concerned, the Roadster Class lead, because Jonathan Grimes is right with him now and thinking about having a look down into the hairpin as they come towards the end of lap 6. It's Matthew Welford, number 31, just behind both of them. But right, fight very much on now for the Class C lead.
And also for the Class A lead going into the hairpin only a few seconds later, because Neil Stratton and Dave Hemingway are absolutely together. They were almost side by side as they came through the complex that time. They're streaking across the start-finish line now. The silver, black and green 55 ahead of the yellow and black 84. Again, battles wherever you look up and down the order. This is the one for the Class C lead then. Mick Nichols and Jonathan Grimes, 8th and 9th place overall. They're a country mile ahead of the rest of the Class C field, who are running well outside the top 20. In the slipstream then is Grimes as he goes down the back straight, but they're being caught now by Matthew Welford, and he in turn has got away from Andrew Ruthven after he had a moment at the complex. And in fact, Welford up the inside of Grimes. And Jonathan really would do well not to fight this too hard, but he is fighting it as they come out of the corner. They're side by side towards the Jim Clark S's.
The intriguing thing about the MR2 Championship is that there are two separate points tables kept. One which is for class points, and one which is for the overall points based on overall finishing position, and that's the one that they're really all gunning for. So it's not just a question of you don't need to worry about drivers that aren't in your class. Well, I'm just keeping an eye on the battle for the Class A lead, the Mark 1 lead as well, as we are on screen. In the race 1, these two drivers were about 7 seconds apart at the end of the race, but it's much tighter this time. Number 55, the mainly silver car, is Dave Hemingway. Number 84, the yellow car, is that of Neil Stratton. They finished 16th and 20th respectively in the earlier race. There's about 5 of the Mark 1s here this weekend. We've had bigger numbers than that last year, but 5 is all we've had so far this season. Many of the drivers coming across from another MR2 series to join in with the MR2 Championship in the last couple of seasons. Down towards the hairpin goes this battle then. The number 84 car, the VTR liveried machine of Neil Stratton, is about a 1.5 length behind the car of Dave Hemingway. We're into the last minute of the timed element of this race. As over the line to complete another lap goes that battle between Hemingway and Stratton. It's also the battle, I think, for 13th and 14th position overall as well.
Yep, down to Clervaux then, and Neil Stratton applying the pressure here, asking all the right questions of Dave Hemingway, but he's got all the answers so far. Who takes the tighter line through Hawthorne? Well, they follow each other very neatly through the middle of the road, through that long right-hander that then spits you out through the chicane. And exit speed here is crucial. Now it looks to me like Stratton is a bit closer than he was going into the first complex of corners. He's definitely got the slipstream, and so Dave Hemingway will have to defend, but he doesn't really defend enough, and Stratton looks up the inside. Hemingway later on the brakes. Is he too late? No, gets to the apex nicely. and on the exit of the corner, whilst he's a bit slower than Stratton behind, it's not going to be enough to allow Stratton to get alongside. So this battle continues to rage on. They go through the Jim Clark S's less than a car length apart as the race leader Sean Trader goes on to his final lap of the race. This is a brilliant battle though in Class A.
Yeah, I was just checking. Dave Hemingway has got the Class A lap record as well, and the Class C lap record has also gone, and I think that has gone to Mick Nichols, a 141.36. So that new surface is really doing everyone a power of good. Neil Stratton here thinking about an attack down into the complex. It might be a bit deceptive though, the perspective here, and I think that was the case. Although Stratton wasn't far behind Dave Hemingway, was he, as they came into the complex that time. Turning through the second element of it now, Stratton still pushing on, but Hemingway very experienced now racing these Mark 1 MR2s, and he's making sure this one is sufficiently wide to keep Neil Stratton at bay. They too are about to go on to their final lap.
Yep, through they go. Sean Trainer, the race leader outright, is just going towards the Jim Clark S's, so he's got just under half a lap to go. He's in quite a bit of traffic as well at the moment, Sean Trainer, so he'll be glad that he enjoys nearly a 5.5 second lead over Aaron Cook in second. There is Trainer diving up the inside of Phil Collins in the 28 car, and one of the roadsters as well, 25, that was Scott Hughes, making life a bit easier for Sean Trainer by blocking up and running wide. And Trainer with no one else really in sight as far as positional challenges. That's Aaron Cook there in second. Nick Williamson third has shaken off the attention of Alistair Topley in recent laps. It's looking good for a double race victory here for Sean Trainer, and this will be his fourth win in a row, not just this year.
Yeah, absolutely. The man that's already won the MR2 Championship 3 times, looking in fine form already this season. Up to the line he comes, the headlamps are popped up, claps from the pit wall. Sean Trainer does it again. He wins round 6 of the Gala Performance Toyota MR2 Championship by 4 seconds from Aaron Cook. Nick Williamson it is that takes third. We've had a moment towards the end for Chris Thomas as well. So Alistair Topley takes fourth. Chris Thomas eventually comes across the line in 5th position. And then it's going to be a bit of a battle further back. As far as the Mark 3s are concerned, Andy, they're just coming up to the line, and it looks like it's going to be Mick Nichols that hangs on by about 2 car lengths. Yeah,
Matthew Elford got past him on the final lap, which put him in the clutches of his class rival Jonathan Grimes, but he fends him off. It's similarly close in Class A, though, through the hairpin, as a defensive line is taken by Dave Hemingway, but provided he gets a decent exit from the corner, he should be able to hang on. It's a bit of a drag race to the line, but Hemingway will do the double in Class A, and Dave Hemingway, who has yet to be beaten this year, he's won all 6 of the first 6 races of the Gala Performance Toyota MR2 Championship, and Neil Stratton has been second in 5 of them. He had a 3rd place in the second race at Donington Park, where he finished behind Gareth Baxter, but Gareth Baxter finishing down in 19th place, 3rd in class in that race. So in that one, Ian, it was less about the fight for the outright victory, more the class battles further back that were providing much of the entertainment, because this man, Sean Trainer, once he gets out in front, is difficult to catch.
He's looking in irresistible form, really, isn't he? And for possibly a little bit ominous form as well for all one of his rivals. But as we've seen, Sean Trainer is capable of having off weekends as the season goes on, and his rivals will be hoping that one of those is upcoming. The MR2 Championship will continue at Snetterton at the beginning of July, so there's about 5 weeks off before that next round. We'll take a look at the results then, and it is Sean Trainer that took the win by 4.2 seconds from Aaron Cook. Another podium finish for the former oval racer. Nick Williamson third, his first podium I think in the MR2s ahead of Alistair Topley, Chris Thomas and Sam Harper. Mick Nichols won Class C for the Roadsters, but only by a few tenths of a second from Jonathan Grimes. Dave Hemingway and Neil Stratton in 13th and 14th place overall were the best finishers in Class A. Gareth Baxter third in that class, Pete Higton third in the Roadster class in 18th place overall. And looking a little bit further down the order, Dominic Early there in his Mark 1 was 21st, Patrick Stoner 22nd, Marcus Watts, Maxine Nichols 23rd and 24th, David Rowe 25th, and then you're getting into the drivers that were a lap down or indeed non-finishers, the likes of Wayne Lewis and Ben Rowe and Lee Brown, all failed to make it home to the checkered flag. So Sean Trainer then, 4 wins out of the last 4 races, receives yet another garland from James Winstanley. I wonder what he does with all of them. They take up quite a bit of space, one should imagine. Anyway, let's hear what Sean Trainor's got to say to Josh Barrett.
I've got people on the bank. I said, if I've not got the fastest lap, wave me on, and they're just waving me on every lap. I'm thinking, but I'm getting further and further away.
Thanks, Ian. Sean, that was a bit easier than a normal MR2 Championship win.
It probably looked easier on paper, but I wanted to try and put a bit of a lap down that might hang around for a little while. And before I went out, I said to my mechanic Lee, I said, if I haven't got the fastest lap, wave me on. And every time I come round the back, I was getting a wave on, and I'm thinking, well, who's going quicker? There's no one catching me. But I don't know if he was just winding me up or what. But it's a shame, really. Like I say, we're missing Paul Cook this week, which it's a big shame. I mean, he's probably one of the best drivers in the championship, and it's a big shame. I mean, you want the best drivers here. You want to be able to compete with the best drivers. So I think all of us are the same. We're all gutted for him. He's, we don't know all the circumstances, but it doesn't sound as if it was very fair. So. I just feel sorry for Paul, but yeah, I'm chuffed that I've got the 2 wins today.
Well done on that. Well done, Sean Trainor, our double race winner in the MR2 Championship. Second place, number 96, that was Aaron Cook. Aaron, another podium, well done.
Yeah, thanks. I was looking to go into first, but obviously he cleared off straight off the start, but hopefully next time we can get him. So.
Obviously, every track is a new track for you, so you're learning all the time.
Yeah, every track's sort of new to us. I've had a little go as much as I can on a PlayStation. That's as close as I can get to the real thing. But this track, I've never been around here before. So yeah, happy with 2 seconds. But obviously, you want to win, but second we'll take that.
Well done. In third place, first ever podium, I think, for Nick Williamson. Well done, Nick.
Yes, yeah. It was a pretty good race. The first one it was wet, so I got out front for a bit, but then it was sort of quite a struggle. Because I'm not used to the wet in the car, but yeah, the second one, this is a good race, yeah, first podium.
Enjoying your first year in the Toyota MR2s?
Yeah, it's good, yeah, nice close racing, very close, yeah, so it's good.
And after the pace earlier, looking for a win later in the year?
Definitely, yeah.
Well done.
Just one thing, justice for Cookie.
Nick Williamson there in third place. Dave, another Class A win, but that one looked a bit tougher.
Oh, hard work, that one, yeah. He pushed me fairly hard, didn't he? Yeah, hard race. Hello, Mum. I was wanting to do that, so I put you off onto.
He was right behind you at the end. And
I thought you were going to get to the side of me. Well, very close, yeah.
And then battles hopefully what we'll see for the rest of the year now.
Yeah, hopefully, if we can get a bit of road together, we can have a really good fight. But yeah, it's getting on the same bit of road that's the difficult bit at the minute.
I think it's Netterton next, so that's I guess a power track, but lots of tight corners there too.
Yeah, lots of straights. We normally run in packs at Snetterton. Everybody leaves us alone and lets the Mark ones get on with it. So yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Well done on 6 wins out of 6 for you this year.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Well done. So that was Dave Hemingway, our Class A winner. Third was Nick Williamson overall. Second, Aaron Cook, but the race winner, Sean Trainor.